Can ghosts follow you? Have you ever wondered, can a ghost follow me? In this article, I want to take a look at what we know about ghost and spirits' ability to actually follow a person, reasons they might want to do so, and what you can do if you believe you are being followed by a ghost. Let's dive right into it. Can ghosts follow you? First of all, yes, it is completely possible for a ghost or spirit to follow you. On that note though, I'll say that it is highly unlikely, and extremely rare. In the vast majority of cases, ghosts are known for being at one location, and it is the belief of many paranormal researchers that they are stuck there for a reason. Perhaps that is where they passed, possibly that is where they have unfinished business, or it might be that that is where they want to be. Whatever the reason, ghosts are almost always tied to a location, like a building, a home, a castle, a graveyard, etc. So, if you were out on a ghost hunt, and you were at a location, it is completely possible that the ghost might follow you around that location, but the chances of that ghost following you home are very rare. I have heard a few exceptions to this concept, and one of those is the story of Judith Thompson Ting, who died in Tingsboro, Ma, well over 200 years ago. Legend tells that Judith was murdered by two men in the town, and after her death her spirit tormented them for years until they either killed themselves, or as some people believe, Judith murdered them in revenge. One of the men, named John Alfred Ting, was actually the father of her only child, a little girl. Many people believe John's remaining years were spent moving from home to home, as Judith's ghost followed him, tormenting him the entire way. Until one day, when John was dying, Judith stood at his door, literally not allowing anyone to come to his aid. He died in the room. The other man that Judith killed was a man named Dr. Blood, who was the justice of the peace for the small town, and had somehow convinced Judith that she and John were married, even though they were not. Dr. Blood was found dead, face down next to the road, with what appeared to be Judith's boot print in his back. Legend says that she had been haunting and following him around the town until one day he tripped, and his face landed in a puddle. Judith then pressed her boot into his head and back until he drowned, and left his body there. This is only one story, and there are a few others of ghosts following people, but in the vast majority of cases, ghosts are friendly, and stay in one location. Do poltergeists follow people? Poltergeists are a much different story. The traditional distinction between a poltergeist and a ghost is that poltergeists are often responsible for physical disturbances, whereas ghosts are typically friendly spirits that you are unlikely to interact with. Poltergeists have been known to bite, hit, trip, push, even kill people. They are often associated with flying objects around the room, making loud noises, and generally being disruptive. Poltergeists are also known to follow people, as they have a much more physical form, and are much less often associated with a single place. Poltergeists are even known to choose certain people, who they may follow and torment for a time. For this reason, some paranormal researchers believe that poltergeists are more related to demons than to ghosts or spirits. What do you do if a ghost is following you? Here are a few common steps you can take to prevent ghosts from following you, or to get a ghost to stop following you. 1. Show respect. The most important thing you do is respect the places you go. If you don't want a ghost to follow you home, don't desecrate the places they are haunting. Many ghosts and spirits have been known to be okay with people visiting, but it is important to do it in a respectful way. If you are out on a ghost hunt, keep in mind that the ghosts you encounter likely have a history with that location. Most spirits either died in that place, or have a significant connection with it. So if you are stomping around the home, or causing damage, or just generally being disruptive, you are likely to upset whatever spirits might be there, and are more likely to have one of them be upset. This should be an understood concept anyway, but just remember that if you are in a home, or in a graveyard, or just about anywhere else, just keep in mind that you need to be respectful of the space, and the spirits that may haunt it. 2. Get an EMF meter. The feeling of a ghost following or haunting us can often be in our heads. It can be helpful to get something like a EMF meter for ghost hunting that can help you know if there is actually a spirit following you. You can take a look at my enormous guide on EMF meters for more about this. Depending on how much you believe in cold spots, you can also get a thermometer made for ghost hunting to help you identify if you are actually being followed. 3. Find a priest or minister. Whether you are religious or not, understand that priests and spiritual ministers have the ability to help when a spirit or ghost is following or haunting you. Even if you aren't a member of that church or congregation, a good priest or minister will not turn you away. They will at least sit down and hear you out and help in whatever way they might. There have also been stories and testimonials of people who felt they were being followed by a ghost or spirit, who were able to get them to stop by simply praying. Again, even if you are not religious, it can help to simply pray to a higher power for help. 4. Wear a talisman. This is not for everyone, but I'll write it because there have been stories of it helping people. Many people believe that if you wear, or keep with you, something that is personally powerful to you, that it may help to protect you. It might be a piece of jewelry a family member left you, or something from your childhood. It is believed that these pieces can be so important to us that they have protective energy that may help to prevent a ghost from following you. 5. Talk to the ghost. Finally, the last thing to try is communicating with the spirit. If you believe that a ghost might be following you, wait until there is a moment where you feel its presence, and simply turn in the direction you believe it to be, and try asking it to stop. Or at least try to ask why it is following you. You might not get a simple response, but it might help to start enough of a dialogue to prevent it from following you in the future. You can try to use the flashlight sessions method to communicate with it. Final thoughts on being followed by a ghost or spirit. Just remember that a ghost following you is extremely rare, and there are very few stories of this actually happening. If you do feel that you are being followed or haunted, try following the steps above to see if it helps.